You know Gervonta and Jake Paul are gonna fight too.
Are they?
Oh yeah, Jake's gonna kill him.
When is this?
Probably the end of the year.
I want to go to one. We gotta go to a fight together, guys.
You gotta come to my brand rest, Tennessee.
We're going to the one
In a sport that's supposed to be free from fake drama, one of boxing's most feared names just changed the narrative. Gervonta "Tank" Davis, the knockout artist, the street tough champion, the symbol of raw power, just admitted that his fight with Jake Paul might be staged. That's right, straight from Tank himself. The same man famous for ending fights with a single punch is now hinting that this one might not be as real as it looks.
Who were you gonna call out? What was the plan originally?
I think he was here. He came in my locker room.
Shakur Stevenson?
He wasn't in my locker room.
Jake Paul?
Next question.
God damn, that sounds like Gervonta.
As fans rush to make sense of Tank's claim, others see it as nothing new. Just history repeating itself, Floyd Mayweather style. A few years back, Mayweather faced Logan Paul, and let's be honest, the whole thing felt more like a business move than a real fight.
Floyd Mayweather has exposed the truth behind his infamous fight with Logan Paul. The undefeated legend and YouTuber went the distance, but according to Floyd, the fight wasn't real.
You're not real, man.
In a recent interview, he goes on to say that if it was real, it would have definitely been a blowout in the first round. Do we believe this?
Logan Paul was never a real threat, and Floyd came in as an undefeated legend. Yet the match looked more like a sparring session than a serious fight. There were no knockouts, no real intensity, just light punches and occasional smiles. Fans wasted no time calling it staged.
Logan Paul squashed his beef with the money team before Jake Paul could announce his fight with Mayweather? All this excitement in his L tonight had him saying this.
It's an honor. I hate being a dickhead. I love you guys. I love all you guys. This is one of the greatest moments of my life.
The fight ends with Jake Paul only hitting 13% of his total punches, swinging over 217 times and only hitting 20.
And after the fight, Floyd didn't even try to disguise it. He called it a legalized bank robbery, openly admitting the goal wasn't to prove anything or protect his legacy. It was simply about making millions and walking away richer.
If this kid said he'd been training every day, for years, every day in boxing, I'm somewhere in Aruba, in the Bahamas, in Dubai, I'm traveling the world on my jet, making millions every month, not worried about nothing. And then when I see it's a chance for me to do a heist, a quick heist, I'm gonna let y'all know this. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. At the end of the day, I'm the smart one. Because I don't care if you write good about me, you write bad about me, just keep writing about me.
Now, it looks like Tank Davis is following the same script. Reports suggest he's not focused on a knockout or worried about what critics think. Respect isn't the goal anymore. It's about money, attention, and massive pay-per-view numbers. And in that game, Jake Paul is the perfect opponent to make it all happen.
GervontaDavis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know.
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Say what you will about the YouTuber turned fighter, Jake Paul knows how to draw a crowd. His matchup with Mike Tyson was set to break records, with insane hype, Netflix coverage, and millions tuning in. That's exactly the kind of spectacle Tank wants. He's chasing the show, not just the sport.
A good show, and you make your money. Like Jake Paul, made $40 million off of that. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson made $20 million off of the fight. It was played in the AT&T Stadium. We don't even know how much those guys got. How much did Netflix make? You know what I'm saying? How much did everybody involved make? Since Jake Paul made 40 million, Mike made 20 million. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, it was all like an exhibition type show, and it was just for, each other to get some money. Mike got his money, Jake Paul got his money, and, by unanimous decision, Jake Paul won because, of course, he was a younger guy.
Here's where it gets even wilder. Tank might be bluffing. That's the twist nobody's talking about. He says the fight is fake, frames it as just another cash grab. But what if it's all a setup? What if Tank is purposely luring Jake Paul into a false sense of security?
How about Jake? What do you think of Jake?
Clown.
Yeah.
He's a clown.
Would you look at it as a joke if your team was like, yo, we want you to fight Jake Paul? Would you be like, come on, man?
I laugh at him. Like, you want me to fight him?
You think it'll ever come to the point where you're going to mix into, I mean, you're obviously doing the real shit, but will it ever mix into the point where the money's big enough?
Yeah, would
for
you ever
to
do a
take-
fight like that?
I feel as though in my career I can't.
Usually, it's Jake who runs the mind games, trolling opponents, laughing through press events, and getting inside their heads.
First round, brother. First round. You ready? You work on that cardio? You gonna get tired in round 3 like you do? All those muscles create that lactic acid. Big for nothing. Big for nothing. Big for nothing. Hey, did your coach tell you that I dropped him? He didn't tell you that, right? I'm gonna post it on Twitter. I'm gonna post it on Twitter after the press conference. He ain't tell you that, did he? Mm-hmm. The guy teaching you got f***ing dropped. Let's go. Let's go.
But now it seems Tank might be turning the tables. If Jake believes this is just a money grab, a flashy exhibition where no one's going all out, he could let his guard down. And if that moment comes, one bell, one punch, one knockdown, Jake Paul could be out cold while the world watches.
Bad dude. See, what I like about Tank is Tank brings something different. You know, back in the days, everybody had something. Muhammad Ali was a mover boxer, George was a puncher, Ernest Shavers was a puncher. Everybody had something they brought to the table. Larry Holmes had a jab. Mike Weaver had overhand right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had something. That division now is full, and Tank having to be the knockout guy of the division. He the one with the main knockout power. Garcia has it too, but Tank got that real knockout power that, like, if Tank hit one of them clean, usually they gonna have a problem. So it's like, I like Tank. Every now and then, I think when he knows he can beat somebody, he probably don't lock in as hard, but I think when they bring challenges, he locks in.
Yeah, he fights to the level of his competition. He
Yeah,
was doing that a lot.
and he gotta be careful of that.
2 fights ago, he was really doing that.
You feel me? So you gotta be careful of that, because if you come in and think somebody is not at your level and you underestimate them, it can get you beat. So I think you gotta be careful of.
But don't get too carried away with that scenario. Even if Tank is playing 4D chess, the fight isn't as one-sided as it seems. The biggest factor people keep overlooking is the weight difference.
Obviously, didn't materialize. Was the next one Tank?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was on the 1 yard line as well, but he has to rematch, Lamont Roach. He wants to get that back. And then we'll be back in discussions with Mr. Gervonta. But, man, this is the nature of boxing. You have massive fights on the 1 yard line and things just fall through.
As you're watching, he was a gigantic favorite, and this is on the heels of the Canelo thing. Are you like, what the fuck is going on here?
I don't know, though, because I never really thought Tank was that good. It would just take the right fighter to pick him apart, to be honest. Someone who had high activity and wasn't afraid of his power. So I always saw so many holes in his game. So to me, it wasn't that surprising that someone finally gave him some good work.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. And so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Okay. Is that still of interest to you? If he wins the rematch and you beat Julio, is that of great interest to you later this year?
Tank Davis is a monster at 135 pounds, built to dominate his weight class. But Jake Paul walks around at 195. That's a 60-pound difference, 6 weight classes up. It's not just a gap, it's a canyon. Jake is bigger, stronger, and accustomed to absorbing punches far heavier than what Tank normally faces.
Tank, get in there with Jake. I don't give a damn. He active.
But he won't be able to hit Tank. If he fight Tank like he fought Mike Tyson, he gonna get knocked out.
Straight up.
Okay.
I think Tank knock him out. With the weight difference. With the weight difference.
This isn't just speculation. Jake Paul's recent fights have shown he's not entirely out of his depth in the ring.
I mean, he's a legit boxer. that was just his first time boxing a real. Is that correct?
It was his first time boxing a real full-fledged boxer, because you think of the people that he knocked out. The only one that I can think of is when he fought Tyron Woodley. And that was just a straight-up boxing match where Woodley comes from an MMA background, and that's where he specializes in. Nonetheless, he still got knocked out by Jake Paul.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. But I think they're both legit, and I think they both have bright futures, that's for sure.
Jake may not be the most technical boxer, but he's tough and packs power. Just look at what he did to Tyron Woodley. That right hand was no fluke. It was clean, strong, and perfectly timed. Now imagine that same punch landing on Tank, who's never faced a full-size cruiserweight's power before. Tank is tough, no doubt, but physics don't lie. A clean shot like that could knock anyone out.
Super skilled. Even though he's smaller than Jake.
It's like you with Mayweather. When you beat Mayweather, you were way bigger than Mayweather. That's why you won.
First person to beat him in history, and he still didn't pay me. Allegedly, in my opinion.
And that's where the real danger is for Tank Davis. This isn't a YouTuber stunt or a Logan Paul, Floyd exhibition where nothing's at stake. This is a fight with real consequences. One clean shot from Jake could end it all. Tank's reputation as a top fighter would take a massive hit, especially with his image already shaky. Remember the Lamont Roach fight? That was rough for Tank. He looked off, unfocused, and far from his best.
When he fought Lamont, it was like he was there, but he wasn't like there for. Like when you watch all his other fights, you can see like his eyes just look different. When he walked into the ring with Lamont, it was just like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, because you heard in the press conferences, he was just saying, he was just real irritated. He didn't really seem like
it just felt like, I think he just trained just to get by. I think he trained to just do 12 rounds. You know what I mean? The Tink that I know, the kid that you punch him in the face, he go crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if I'm down on the scorecards, I'm gonna go out and go get it. I didn't see it that fight. And I understand it too. Us as fighters, when you get to a certain point in life, sometimes you just don't want to do it.
Roach gave Tank real trouble in the ring. And if that knockdown had counted, it could have been Tank's first true loss. That fight dented his momentum, and with a rematch on the horizon, the pressure is only growing.
How many rematches have you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, it's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder. If that didn't get me the win, and I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not going to lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% full fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta that night. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter. Hell of an IQ, great punching power, good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same, and that's what people get it messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight, a whole lot. And I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. It's just he ran into a guy that.
If Tank can't dominate the rematch and Roach shows it wasn't a fluke, then stepping into a fight with Jake Paul starts to feel less like a spectacle and more like a chance for redemption. Tank's been slipping, not just physically, but mentally. He's talked about retirement and even said boxing has become boring for him.
What changed? What made this shit trash, garbage?
If you got the opportunity to sign a prospect for GTD, who will be?
Gervonta, something should have happened during this time, because when I saw you at the Frank Martin press conference, it looked like you were like talks about retirement was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done through boxing since you were a kid and everything? Where's Calvin Ford? Is Calvin Ford or Leonard Edelby usually they're around to?
You think you might be gaining love for it though? You never know. Like like you said, you got to walk today.
He's been losing discipline, caught smoking during training camp, and even cutting ties with Calvin Ford, the coach who's been loyal to him through everything.
Something is definitely going on between Calvin Ford and GervontaDavis. Now, we all seen that knockdown in the 9th round, but what you probably didn't see is what happened after that in between rounds. Check this out. Coach Barry Hunter trained Tank for this fight with Lamont Roach, not Calvin Ford. A lot of people were saying that this performance has something to do with that. So, is something really going on between Calvin Ford and Tank Davis? Check out what Tank had to say.
No, I wasn't really paying attention to the crowd. You know what I mean? I was more so... It's something we gotta work on in the corner. For sure.
Tank isn't just facing opponents, he's battling himself. Combine that with a fight he admits might be staged, and the picture becomes clear. This isn't about belts or legacy, it's about cashing out. From a business perspective, it makes sense. Floyd Mayweather showed that boxing can be a hustle, not just a sport, turning it into a full-on entertainment machine.
Crazy that everybody keep asking me, why you not coming back to fight? Why you not coming back to fight? So I look at the fight game, I said, okay. I said, you know, fighters fighting, they make 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 7 million. Some may make 10 or 20 million. But I'm doing exhibitions and I'm making 20, 25 million, 100 million for exhibitions. So why would I come back and fight and get a guaranteed 35 million when I'm doing exhibitions and getting 100?
But it all started with Jake Paul's fight against Mike Tyson. That's when things really spiraled. Jake was getting roasted for agreeing to face a 58-year-old legend, and even Tank mocked him, calling it disrespectful to box a man nearing 60 just for clout.
The Tyson fight. Tell us, exactly why expound on that.
Cause why would he even want to fight him? And who told Mike Tyson to fight anyway?
Do you think that it might have tarnished Mike's legacy in a way?
Yeah, they did. They definitely did.
Critics were everywhere, claiming Jake only fought washed-up opponents and couldn't handle a real boxer. Even Floyd warned him that facing a true fighter would be the end of the line. Then Tank did the unexpected. He called Jake out. That challenge flipped the story. Suddenly, Jake had a real shot. Beating Tank Davis, an active, world-class, dangerous boxer, would shut down the critics and prove he's more than just trolling. If Jake wins, everything changes. He goes from YouTube fighter to legitimate contender overnight, earning respect while Tank becomes the one who underestimated him and paid the price.
Tank Davis, Gervonta.
Man, it's so stupid that comments, like, you wanna fight Joshua, you wanna fight, Joshua, you wanna fight, Gervonta, you wanna fight, Usyk, you wanna fight, I don't know, after 28, so maybe another fight again.
And while it's easy to dismiss this fight as just entertainment, the danger is real, because the truth is, this matchup is closer than most people realize.
Looking past Roach, and he wanted that Jake Paul fight, which I think Jake Paul would have beaten. Jake is way too big. Tank is 5'5", 135, soaking wet. Y'all think Tank is too small for 140. He ain't beating no heavyweight. I'm not joking. I don't think he would have hurt Jake. He would have to jump up to reach him. I don't think he would have hurt him. I tell you this, it would have gone the distance, and people would have been laughing their asses off, and it wouldn't have been good for Tank's brand. I tell you that. That fight would have went the distance. Soon as 5'5" Tank is looking at a 6'2", 6'3" Jake Paul, y'all would be like, hold, wait a second. And Jake Paul be on spread out paws with that arm out and stepping back, and bro, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. But that's a cap, fine. We'll never get to fight anyway, so we'll never know.
Timing matters. Focus matters. The bottom line is simple. Either this fight is staged and Tank is cashing out like Floyd did, or it's real, and he's just given Jake a psychological edge without even knowing it.
Fantastic event. Anyone who don't think it's a fantastic event is jealous. Who's better, Tank Davis or Jake Paul? So, immediately, the normal layman would say, oh, Tank Davis is better. But better at what? Is he better at selling tickets? Is he better at selling stadiums out? Is he better at creating controversy? Is he better at getting followed on Instagram? Is he better at putting more eyeballs on the boxing? Is he better than him at that? The answer would be no. But is he better at him in a fight? It has to be really, you have to break it down. You know what I mean?
Either way, November is shaping up to be wild, because this isn't just about boxing anymore. It's legacy versus relevance, power versus size, old school versus new wave. GervontaDavis versus Jake Paul isn't the fight anyone expected, but it's the one we can't look away from. The hype is only just beginning.